Okay, we're back. Good afternoon. My name is Donna Fiesel, and I'm your host of The Edge on IC Radio, your source for news and entertainment. You can find us on television, channel 182 on Charter Communications and Abundant Television, which is found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. Don't forget the podcast, netnewsnetwork.net. Got my friend Loretta Rodger with us right now, and we're both crafters. And I'm going to tell you, some of the most fun shows I do are when we are talking about crafts.
Yes.
And you have just given me some ideas, and we were talking about this before the camera came in. So I made a couple handbags, and one is made out of a jacket that I found, used piece of leather, and it was a big size, so I was able to get a pretty decent bag out of it. So I made this.
It's so pretty
here, and so I put the fringe on it. I'm still in the 70s fringe. I'll never get over it. I'm an old hippie. I will never change. And then I used a big piece of jewelry right here on the bag. And then this was a skirt at the back.
It's so pretty. It's so pretty.
I love this purse. I mean, I love this. And you'll never find another one like it. And I used my sewing machine, so I hand stitched a lot of it. Now, I keep things like, if I have an old handbag that I've just absolutely worn out, I won't give it to Goodwill or anything. What I do is take it apart. And then I use, if it has really good, snaps or anything like that, I keep them.
Oh, yeah.
So I put that on there. I went on ahead and did my sewing machine. I can do leather on it, sew leather on it. So I made this. I made the strap and made the whole thing. Then I also made this one. And this was found out of found materials too. So here I am. There's my fringe all over again. I made the strap to go with it. And then I found this I love anything that's got an animal on it. I found this was an old necklace.
Oh, that is so pretty.
So I put that on there.
Yeah,
but my
you did
question
good.
to you, I've turned down, like I'd be at a thrift store and find something that would be like a jacket. And I wouldn't get it because it would have somebody had it was a smoker. And I can't smell cigarette smoke because of my asthma. I mean, it sends me into never land. You've got a way to get rid of that smell.
I do. There's two ways, actually. The first one is probably the easiest. I don't know. I guess they're pretty easy. But if you'll take the cheapest kitty litter that you can find and put that garment or bag or whatever in it, like a big plastic gallon-sized bag or something, and leave it there for, 2 or 3 days, that kitty litter will absorb the odor. Now, the other thing you can do is actually something that I love doing, and I do it quite a bit. And that's take a big plastic bag again. Of course, it's going to be a clean bag you've never used before. Put the garment, or I do this sometimes if I find hankies at a yard sale that I've washed and they still kind of smell, just like grandma's attic. Take a big old handful of dryer sheets, your favorite dryer sheets, put them in the bag with the garment, close that puppy up, and a week later take it out. And it's going to smell like the dryer sheets, and it will not return to the musty smell that it had before. It will never go back to that because you have impermeated that wonderful scent into the garment with the oils from the dryer sheet. And it's just a fabulous way to refurbish something. And if you're not a fan of like a scented dryer sheet, don't use a scented dryer sheet. Use regular unscented dryer sheet, and it will still do the same thing.
Well, see, I'm a fan of the scented dryer sheets. There's just nothing better than Febreze. I mean, it's just like I have candles I've made that smell like Febreze. I figured it out. I figured the scent. So there's just something about Febreze. I mean, it's just it's not. And for that scent is also crisp cotton and stuff like that. That's if you want to buy a candle for somebody and you don't know what their fragrances are, because fragrances are personal.
They are.
Like me, I like it all. The only thing about food scents is it makes me hungry. So,
I know.
So especially if it's cinnamon spice, it makes me want to cinnamon roll. But other than that, I love florals and I love, clean smells. I love them all. But yeah, that's a fantastic idea. So I'm going to use that. So next time I see a good deal on leather coat that, because even if it has a a bad spot in it. But you're going to make jewelry. You can make jewelry. You make bracelets. You make all kinds of stuff out of leather.
Yeah, you sure can. There's just no end to what you can do for leather. And of course, as you well know, I love to take that little child's jacket or whatever that really isn't in that great a shape, and I'll cut it apart and make a journal out of it. So,
what are some tips on making a journal? And what materials do you like to use?
Well, I like to use a lot of things. And one of my favorite base materials for making journals are cereal boxes. They're not real heavy. I do like to make journals that have a heavier base, cardboard, but as far as just like a journal you can carry in your purse or one that you just kind of write in, every day or whatever, cereal boxes are great. And I just cut those to the size and shape that I want. And then build a journal. Now for like the internal signatures, if it's what industry calls a junk journal, which is really kind of what it implies. So it's going to have old emephora, which is old family pictures or old documents from the 1900s, things of that nature. And they're hugely popular right now, and they're hugely expensive right now. But you can make one yourself for literally maybe $5-10, especially if you have that old stuff from, your own ancestors. You have those old documents, scan them so you can keep them and print them off and then use them to make your junk journals. I like to use a cotton paper. Yeah, I like to use a cotton paper, and you can buy, I want to say like 50 or 60 sheets of it for like $10. And we're talking all cotton. We're not talking like a mix of cotton, cheapy stuff, but you can find it. And it's fabulous to write on. It's a nice texture to have in your journals. But I do like that. Several years ago, when I first started doing some journals, whether junk journals or not, Mike made for me a book press. So it's got a big handle. It's about that big, weighs probably 20 pounds. And you just screw the handle down. So when my book is ready, it's bound, but it needs to set up so that everything stays in place. It's got the extra glue in there and all that good stuff. And then I will put it in that press, and it will stay there for a couple of days. And then once a day for that time period, I'll go in there and screw it down a little tighter, just so that I know that book isn't going to come apart. That would be embarrassing. But you can cover, if you've got a book and let's just say it's sturdy, but you just don't like the way the binding came out, then just use some of that scrap material from grandma's dress or that piece of leather that you took off and used on a purse and make it a cover for that spine. And it's so easy to do, and it just looks stunning. In my opinion, it looks really stunning, but it's a lot of fun to make them. It's a lot of fun to gift them.
Oh, I love it. And you've given me, like this one right here. I use this right here. And I use this one for the gardening because you put the tree of life right there on it. And I just love this book. And it's so easy. It's my go-to. And I keep thinking about like let's say a legacy. Everybody wants to leave a legacy. So this right here, I'm going to wind up giving to my daughter-in-law because it has gardening tips in it. And it has beekeeping tips. It has all kinds of, what to do. Mine consists of things what not to do. So God, you don't want to make this mistake. So, and then when we got the hydroponics garden, I started that this year. And so I've got all kinds of tips in here, what not to do on that. So that works out as well. But I love this. This is my treasure right here. And it's my go-to for everything. I've got like the chicken egg incubator. I've got down here how many minutes, that it needs to be on, the humidity. I mean, all those things are really, really important. Keep it closed the first time for 5 days. Don't open it, so those kinds of things. And then how I said it, day 19, what happened? Day 19, when I was trying to hatch these eggs, you take the egg turner out. And the reason you want to do that is those tiny little feet, when they hatch out, if you don't take it out, they can actually have an accident, and maybe the little feet get caught between that egg turner. And so I was real careful I put that down in here, and I put it on my calendar when to take that egg turner off.
Now, if you're going to keep a journal, I do have a recommendation. It's worth, I don't know how much they are now. I've had mine for years, but I have a little Polaroid zip printer. And back when I bought it, you could buy 50 of the, it's basically like a no ink thing, but when it goes through the printer, it develops a picture. And so they're 2 by 3 inches when they print off, but I will take these pictures and I put them into my journals, and I will, I try to write something about them, like, okay, well, in your case, it would be, okay, this is what the egg turner looked like on day 20, and this is what I did. And the reason that's important is because now not only do you have a written documentation, but you have a photo. And if everything has worked well in the past, which I'm going to assume it probably worked out really well, then you've got that picture to go, okay, well, wait a second, what did I forget here? And you've got a photo, plus you've got the documentation to go along with it. And the same thing goes for those journals that you're making to keep, to give to your family. I think it's of the utmost importance that we share with the next generation our feelings and our belief systems and what was going on in our life from the time we were children until the time we started keeping a journal. Because unfortunately, a lot of even we would have called old ways, 20 years ago, aren't anymore. They're just, the things that people do now and the way that they go about making a garment, for example, is nothing like it was even 20 years ago. So I think it's very important to keep a journal to just document the way things are, so that maybe the future the future generations will appreciate what it took to have that happen.
I think so too, because I'm going to blogs on people about how they raise food and how they preserve food when you don't have electricity. Now, that's something that's pretty important. We need to know that as well. So, those are the old tried ways that worked, hundreds of years ago, and they can still work now. We just don't know how to do it.
Correct.
So I'm really excited about that. Let's go into a commercial break, and we are going to return in just a few minutes. Everybody hang in there. The Hatter Cafe and Country Inn is nestled in the northeast corner of Alabama the Beautiful in the delightful town of Mentone. We're located on top of scenic Lookout Mountain near Little River and DeSoto State Park, and located only 5 minutes from shopping and restaurants. There is also a nearby community walking path and golf course. We welcome everyone through the doors, and we are committed to outstanding service for all guests. At the Hatter Cafe and Country Inn, we invite people from all walks of life to come and get away from it all, enjoy the open spaces, treetop views, fresh, clean air, and experience Southern hospitality at its finest. We look forward to hosting you. To reserve a special event, or if you would love a special getaway at the Country Inn, you can call us at 256-634-2018.
Are you ready?
We all wonder what tomorrow will bring, but the future lays itself at the feet of the prepared and surrenders to the will of the persistent. It's not easy, but today shapes you so you can shape tomorrow. With Northeast Alabama Community College, when the future asks if you're ready, you can answer
yes.
Begin your future at Northeast Alabama Community College.
The only place I buy my beef is Lone Tree Ranch in Collinsville, Alabama. Their cattle is born and raised on their ranch, grass and grain fed, and you can feel confident when you serve your family and friends because their beef is all natural and no antibiotics or hormones are added. You can buy whole beef or perhaps go in with family or friends and buy half. Their customer service is number one as they take care of the delivery to their local processor and can deliver to your home for a small added fee. They also offer herd replacement heifers. I always call Lone Tree Ranch in Collinsville, Alabama for my beef specialty recipes and cookouts, and you can too. Food shortages are increasing, so buy local by calling 256-523-6462. That's 256-523-6462.
Looks like you've been sleeping well.
Megan, he's back. The My Pillow guy.
And you're looking good.
Still feeling good.
Well, just when you thought it couldn't get any better, we've got the best pillow ever, My Pillow 2.0.
The best sleep just got even better. Whether you have a My Pillow or not, you need to get the brand new My Pillow 2.0. Call or go to mypillow.com now. Use your promo code, and for a limited time when you buy one, you'll get a second one absolutely free.
Donna's Designs offers a line of handmade memorial, wedding, and keepsake jewelry that launched back in 1970. I'm a self-trained jewelry designer, and I will work closely with you to create unique designs you can love and treasure for years to come. Whether that be flowers that were used in a funeral arrangement or stones you found on the beach at a memorable trip, call me at 256-659-4319, and let's think of the possibilities.
At Liberty Bank, we're all about community. Whether it's to help with a charity fundraiser or help families in need, toys at Christmas, or a local football team, we're here for you. You see, we realize the importance of family. Sometimes it's to build a new home or necessary home repairs. We're here for you. If you like the feel of a small town bank with all the conveniences of a big city bank, we're here to serve you. You will find us at any of our convenient locations in DeKalb, Marshall, Etowah, and Blount counties in North Alabama. You can call and speak with any of our friendly staff at 256-659-2175 or check us out on the web at libertybankal.com. And thank you for your support of our community. Member FDIC Equal Housing Lender. At Lamone's Mexican Restaurant, located in Henniger, Alabama, and voted Best Mexican Restaurant of DeKalb County, Alabama 2020, we're here to serve you with authentic Mexican cuisine. Order easily online by going to lamonsmex.com or call 256-657-3999 to place your order. We're open Sunday through Thursday, 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. and Friday and Saturday, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Whether you're celebrating a cozy date night for two or a celebration for a crowd, at Lamone's you'll love our atmosphere and friendly servers. Thank you for dining with Lamone's Mexican Restaurant.
Okay, we are back. My name is Donna, and I'm your host of The Edge on IC Radio. We're talking about Krause with Loretta, Rodger. And Loretta, you have a website. What is that website?
LorettaRodger.com.
That's easy. And it's Rodger.
It is.
Rodger.com. So I wanted to talk to you. So I meet a lot of people. I've been to a lot of craft events, and someone will make a piece of jewelry and they're underselling it. I don't know why they think that, and so let's talk a little bit about how to make money in crafting and how not to undersell yourself and how to promote yourself. Go.
Okay, well, one of my favorite things to do is probably one of the easiest to promote yourself, which is always have a business card. I just had some reprinted because I redid my blog and I have a new telephone number. So I just had mine printed, but until they come back from the printer, I printed some right off of my home computer onto, a good quality cardstock. And I'd take those so that if I run into somebody who's like-minded, maybe they're interested, I used to have a business, what do you think about this? Then you've got an instant contact with that person. So that's my number one tip, is to always have a business card with you. The other number one tip is to always have a small book or notebook on your person, in your car, in your purse, with a pen that works.
Yeah, that works.
Yeah, there's that. So that you can write down information should you need it. So, it may be you're just talking to somebody at the grocery store and they're like, really, I didn't know you were crafty. I'm really glad I met you because grandma's getting rid of all of her stuff. And if you're interested, I'd love to give you, the number. It's a great time saver and money saver. Mm-hmm. Now, as far as reinventing yourself, which is, there's a little bit of that going on, which you know about. You have to be flexible enough to realize that it's not always going to work out. And if things don't work out, that's okay too, because the only mistake you're going to ever make is by not trying and not asking questions, because a lot of times people go, well, I just don't want to ask. This sounds kind of silly or stupid. The worst thing that somebody can tell you is no.
It's not the end of the world.
You don't like it, and you kind of mourn over, the season that just passed in your life, and you're a little nervous about the season that's coming. But as a Christian, I give that to the Lord, and I know that in His time and in His place that things will work out. The other thing as far as making money or making a profit on items is to not undersell yourself. It is okay to volunteer time, but you really should not undersell yourself as far as how much money it takes to make a project. You want to be reasonable, but if they think that they're going to get a $5 for something that cost you $20 to make, then you just politely say, I'm sorry, but I can't do it for that price. I do get quite a bit of custom requests for like cards, greeting cards in particular. And I usually tell people, okay, well, I want to know a little bit about you, what you want as far as this card, and then I'll give them a price. And sometimes they go, whoa, I'm not Hallmark. This is not something that's mass produced. This is a one of a kind piece, and it's really art. It takes a lot of time. So do not undersell yourself is my other tip. And now one other one I think is hugely important is this. Put a smile on your face. It makes such a difference. If your countenance is shining,
it does.
It is the difference between somebody being grumpy and moody and ugly towards you. And even if they still are, and you go, I'm so sorry you're having a bad day. I'm going to pray for you. And I want you to know that I am thinking about you. And if you know them personally, you're going to go, I love you anyway. Put that smile on your face. It makes such a big difference. And today, my husband and I had an opportunity. We actually stopped at somebody's house because she has been working like mad in her yard and planting flowers and just beautiful landscape in front. And we literally knocked on her door and just wanted to tell her how much we appreciated her hard work and how wonderful, and she went from being to just a smile on her face. It was a wonderful opportunity just to bless somebody with a smile and a compliment. But I think
sometimes you're the one that puts the smile on their face. Maybe they had a rough day, and
you don't ever know what kind of a difference you're going to make. And, you don't have to always be comfortable. But if you just take that extra 2 minutes just to share that kindness, there's not enough in this world. There just really isn't. And I could care less about your political view or your alphabet soup view. I'm going to love you regardless, and if it just means that all I can do is say, I do care about you with a smile on my face, then that's all I can do. And you have to let the rest go.
Yeah.
Back on the subject of advertising yourself, a good website is very important. I have had mine for probably 8 years now. I went from a blog spot to a .com. And I mentioned earlier, her name's Margie Baxley. She's with Geek Websites, and I will make sure you get her information. But she's very reasonable, and she can design a blog. She can update a blog, which she just did mine. We just had a little refresh there. She's amazing, and she keeps the information on her own private server. So should something happen, your blog isn't lost. It's instantly recoverable, which is something I've unfortunately had somebody hack in and destroy it for about 24 hours, but she got it right back up. So there are ways to do that. It's not super expensive, but you are going to spend some money to do something like that, but it's worth it if you're going to have a business. And she can do everything from put in a store for you to put in like a class schedule, or like if you're a little bit more popular and you want to do meet and greet, all that kind of stuff, you can put on the blog at very reasonable prices. But I highly recommend her. But the other thing about having your own blog is you have a forum in which you can write or do videos or whatever it is that you want to do to advertise your services, whether that's card making or classes or whatever that is. So
now let me ask you a question, because you are a crafter and you're very, very good at what you do.
Oh, thank you.
So, okay, we've got just under 4 minutes left in the segment. So do you teach classes, don't you?
I do. I'm actually, I can't give a whole lot of information yet because there is some, negotiation, that kind of crap, but there is an organization called Marshall County RSVP.org. So you can go to their website and you can check them out. They have lots of different things for seniors primarily, but I'm sure that if you're younger than a senior and you want to take a class, you would be welcome. But there are so many.
Website again. That's Marshall County.
It's mcrsvp.org.
Okay.
So Marshall County RSVP.org.
Okay.
So, and you talk about a beautiful facility. I got to tour it yesterday, and towards the back of their building that faces the lake, of course, they have some nesting eagles that you can see right there from the banks. I had a blast. But yeah, I am hoping to teach some more classes come late summer, early fall. There will be some more information on that. On my website, there is actually a place now where those classes will be, so you can get more information about the classes, how to sign up, and the costs and things like that. So those are coming up. Some of my upcoming classes that we're going to be doing, I'm really excited about, is that we're going to be making angels out of old hymnals.
I saw that. I've seen your work.
Are they not just gorgeous? They're so easy to do. The only problem with them is you have to treat them really kind of with kid gloves, because the paper, the hymnal I'm using right now to make them with was from the 1800s, like 1825. Yeah. So they're really, really, they're delicate. And I think if I do any more, what I'm going to do is just use like a matte finish, like spray, not a like glue, but like a finishing spray, and let them dry, and then do the scoring for those, just so that they would be a little less likely to, tear. But they're well worth it. I have had really good reception and feedback on those little angles, and they are super, super easy to make. But
well,
yeah,
it's not too early to think about Christmas, because you can make those, put them on your Christmas tree.
Yes, actually, I have a commission right now to make about 120 of them for a Christmas tree. So,
well, it'll be here before you know it. I mean, it's, all those things. Loretta, we've got to call it a day. Thank you so much for being on the show with me.
Thanks for having me. It's good to see you.
It's always good to see you too. Thank you for watching The Edge on IC Radio. You can find us Monday through Friday, 1 to 3 p.m. Central, as we get to ride home with you in the afternoon. You can always find us on Facebook. I still have shows going back like 10 years ago and longer. So all you have to do is just type it in under the search, and you can find us on any of the social media sites, Twitter, Facebook, the whole works. Also on youtube.com. So we appreciate you watching us. You can find us anytime also by going to the website, donnasedge.com, donnasedge.com. You can also send an email if you have any questions, something you would like for Loretta to talk about next time she's on the show. Again, my email address is donna@donnasedge.com. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you later.